Welcome back to Not So Pro Football Talk. It is Overreaction Monday, Week 11, and guys, I have a special announcement for everybody. It is Week 11 of the NFL football, and guess what? The Bears still suck. It is a great Sunday, guys. We're going to get into all the craziness and Overreaction Monday of all the games, at least the big highlight moments, in my opinion. But before we get into all that, remember, go ahead and hit that like button if you're enjoying the video. Remember, hit that sub button if you want more NSP content. And as always, if you disagree with us, we welcome it. Go down to the comment section. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right. We'll debate each other in the comments, all right? So go ahead and get down to those comments. Be ready when you hear me say something crazy. All right, but the first overreaction is how the Green Bay Packers barely hold on over the Chicago Bears. That was not a fun game for me as a Packer fan. Vincent knows all about it because I was texting in our group chat of how I can't say all the things on YouTube that I was saying. But I was not happy, and I was going to be very upset if the Bears broke our 10-win streak record on them. Matt LaFleur never losing a game. I was going to be very upset that because I knew the storyline if the Packers would have lost. Oh, the Caleb Williams era has started, and it's a new era where they're going to beat the Packers and this and that. I was not for it. I was very upset. But the Bears looked, I'll give the Bears their dues. They looked a lot better in that game from where they have been the past 3 weeks. Defense came to play as far as the Bears. Definitely gave us fits in the run game. And the Packers were just couldn't get it done in the red zone with Jordan Love throwing a pick and then stopping Jordan Love rushing it for a touchdown on the 1 yard line. So 2 red zone stops. That's going to help you win the game. And Caleb Williams looked pretty decent throughout the game, completing third down percentage plays, checking it down to his guys, getting the ball out quick. That was the biggest thing, in my opinion. There was a few plays still in there where he held onto the ball and got sacked by the Packers, especially that last drive. But for overall, he got that ball out quick and looked really, really good. Packers defense did not come to play at all. They were not ready for it. It looked like they didn't get off the plane, basically. I was very upset with how everything played out. But Christian Watson saved the day. And then Carl Brooks, I'm almost positive it's Cade Brooks, with the freaking block of a field goal to help us win the game, because that thing looked, when it came off, it was going to be true and was going to go in. But he was able to get the block off, and Packers win it by 1. Don't cover, but a win's a win. It's ugly. Vincent, what is your thoughts about this whole game?
Yeah, man, I was mad that they didn't cover, because that could have given me an extra point there in our pick'ems. If you haven't done our pick'ems yet, go down into our Discord, the link below, and ask to join. We'll send you the link there on Sleeper. But yeah, the Packers, I mean, it was a weird game. I expected the Packers to win by at least a touchdown, maybe even 2 touchdowns. Of the way the Bears were playing lately. But you said it already for me. Caleb Williams was getting the ball out quicker. And usually when a quarterback gets the ball out quicker, they're more efficient. The offense runs a little bit better, and that was his mistake the past 3 games as they've been playing tougher matchups. He was able to do it in the first 4 or 5 weeks, where he could hold the ball as much as he wanted, scramble out, because he wasn't playing against too many top-ranked defenses. But now getting into these divisional games, they're all going to be tough. And I think Caleb Williams is learning that. But yeah, the Bears looked a little bit better. So this could be a good matchup to watch for the rest of these, maybe 5 to 10 years, as Love and Caleb Williams are the starting quarterbacks for the respective teams. It could be very, very good, in my opinion. But yeah, Packers came out with the dub with the block field goal again, just like the Chiefs did last week. So very interesting. Football is getting very, very good at this point in time. Can't wait to get into the December season, or basically December season, but December month. That's where a lot of crazy stuff happens for every single team. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. And I'm so glad he won this game. I was really scared, but hey, the Packers are on to San Francisco next week. It is in Lambeau. I hope Nick Bosa is able to come back healthy. We beat the Niners, I wanted them to be as healthy as possible, because I just like beating teams that way. But I'm not excited for next week either, man. The Niners the record shows they are, in my opinion. We'll get
Yeah.
to the Niners a little bit here, but our Nets overreaction is an overreaction that is kind of targeted at me because I was a doubter, Vincent. I was a doubter of this man, and I got shut up this weekend. But Anthony Richardson has silenced doubters this past week, beating the Jets 28-27, and man, I was not expecting him to play as well as he did. So in this game, he he completed 20 of his 30 passes, 272 yards, threw for a touchdown, and ran for another 2 touchdowns as well, putting at 28 points in total. This was a really good game by Anthony Richardson. I think he has been able to silence a lot of the doubters ever since it was 3 weeks ago where he tapped out of the game saying he just needed a break or whatever, and his completion percentage in that game was atrocious as well. Not being able to complete the ball, looking like a really bad quarterback, not even someone who's like currently learning. In my opinion, and I came at him. I said a lot of things like, "Hey, I believe that quarterbacks deserve like 3 years in this league to show us who they are." And I was writing him off before those 3 years. I did not think he was going to be a good quarterback. He silenced me this week. He showed a lot of poise and being able to come back in the face of
Adversity.
And put up a really good, solid game after Joe Flacco failed this offense the past 2 weeks. Really proud of him. Happy that he was able to silence me. I hope he is able to do this for more weeks in the future because the Colts, they do have a good roster. If Anthony Richardson is able to play at least decent level, the Colts are an interesting team. Not a playoff winning team, maybe a playoff team at the very max, I would say. But the Colts are an interesting team if they can get good quarterback play out of their quarterback. Hope he's able to play well. I think he's like a Cam Newton type of style. I think most people know that, but I just don't see it as a sustainable type of play style in the NFL. So I still have that knock on him. But hey, silence me again. What's your thoughts, Vincent?
I like that comparison right there to Cam Newton because they have very similar injuries already in their young careers, basically. So Anthony Richardson had the same injury that Cam Newton did. So hopefully, like Reed said, I hope he defeats the odds and plays longer than Cam Newton did because I'd like to see that type of quarterback again, a big-bodied rushing quarterback who can also throw it pretty accurately. But he has not thrown it accurately as of late. But this game, he was a lot better. Again, a few balls kind of sailed over some of the receivers, and some receivers made spectacular catches, just like Josh Downs did. Who's there? Alec Pierce. So again, there's a lot of great plays that the receivers are making, and he's helping make that. So I think he is getting a little bit better. He still has a long way to go. This was the Jets. Again, the Jets can have a good defense, but as of late, they have been in shambles on both sides of the ball. So this one was an interesting one. I'm glad for Anthony Richardson. In my past video for the power rankings, I said that I hope that he could play a good game, just like how Bryce has been playing. So again, him and Bryce Young are pretty much from that same draft class. I just hope that the second year going into the third year, because these teams should not make playoffs, in my opinion, they have some tough matchups coming up. So again, hopefully Anthony Richardson can play up to this caliber most games, if not all of them. But next week they have Detroit. It's going to be tough. He's going to be behind on points the entire game. I know for a fact on that. Their defense is going to have to come and play if they even want a chance to stay in this game. But kudos to Anthony. Hope that he can continue to play like this. Super fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely hope he does well in the next coming weeks. But we're going to move on to our next topic, our next overreaction. And I want to kind of set this one up a little bit for you. So we're going to talk about the Steelers right now and how they just beat the Ravens 18-16. Very defensive game. Not a lot of scores there. Lamar had a good last drive to get him close to being able to beat the Steelers, but ended up coming short of the 2-point conversion to force overtime. But this was a really good game, and in my opinion, it solidified even more of what I think of the Steelers, that they're a top-ranking team in this NFL right now with how they're playing. Now, my overreaction, Vince, I'm gonna pass it to you right now. So right now, there's 3 teams on the top of the AFC. The Bills are 9-2. Chiefs are 9-1 after just losing this past week, which we'll get into more a little bit. And the Steelers are 8-2 right now. My overreaction is I feel like they could easily, I want to say easily, but definitely could beat either the Bills or the Chiefs in the playoffs and potentially make an AFC championship run.
Oh, wow.
That's I believe in this team, man. I believe in this team.
That is a bombshell right there, guys. But basically, if they want to do that, I think it's possible. I think they can beat both of these teams for sure.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, any given Sunday. If it gets into playoffs and these teams are ranked 1, 2, and 3, and Pittsburgh is 3, they are going to go up against one of these guys, within maybe the divisional, but if not, the conference round.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if they want to do that, the offense has to play better. The offense was there, but every time they get close to the red zone or past the 50, it just kind of stalled out. Russell Wilson didn't play his best game today. Again, hopefully he can against tougher matchups like this later on in the season. This was a good test for him, finally getting back into, a rhythm. But the Ravens kind of held them in check, but so did Pittsburgh, holding the Ravens and Lamar in check. So this was a very defensive game, like you said, Reed. But if they want to be able to beat Buffalo and Kansas City, who, in my opinion, have more of a solidified, structured offensive scheme compared to the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens kind of like, oh, Derrick Henry's going, we're going to feed Derrick Henry. But if he's not, it's like, all right, who's the next guy that's going to step up? Usually it's Lamar Jackson, sometimes Zay Flowers, sometimes Bateman. But really nobody else was there since Derrick Henry was having a pretty bad game. So in my opinion, Pittsburgh has to get the offense going. I feel like if they got more field goals in this game, they would have ran away with it. And maybe I'd be intrigued with what you said, and maybe I'd believe in it a little bit more. But right now, having 6 field goals by Boswell, congratulations, Boswell, and those of you who had him in fantasy, amazing points from him. But yeah, if they can get more touchdowns, I'd believe it. But with field goals, I don't think they'll be able to beat Kansas City and Buffalo at this point in time. Maybe later on. So
I get what you're saying, 100%. The offense is troubling, but the thing is, this defense is going to keep them in games. Like, regardless, it's going to be a close game. The Bills, the Chiefs, especially the Chiefs with their offense, are going to be kept in check and be a close game. The Bills have a chance to blow the top off at the end and potentially, with Josh Allen magic, to be able to overcome the defense of the Steelers. But definitely the Chiefs, I think, could easily get toppled by the Steelers, where just their offense is just not going to be able to put up points either on the Steelers. Just like the Steelers are going to struggle against the Chiefs defense. I really like this team. I think they're very well coached. Very well. People were calling for Mike Tomlin's job after this year because they thought they were going to be so bad. I was like, this is going to be one of his best seasons yet. I don't know what you're all talking about. And he's shown it so far. So I'm loving this team. I'm loving what they're doing. I think they could definitely do really stir up some trouble in the AFC. Yeah, there's a chance that we got an AFC championship of Bills and Chiefs, which will be great. I will have no complaints about a matchup like that because we've seen what those playoff matchups between those two teams can be. But I love some Steelers terrible towels messing some stuff up in the playoffs. I would love to see it.
It always amazes me, man, watching games at their home field. The cameras always go to the fans like at least 10 times a game, and you see everybody
Mm-hmm.
just waving them, man. It looks so cool. I love that. That's one of the greatest things about Heinz Field over there.
Yeah, nothing travels like the terrible towels. 100%. All right, but yeah, I believe in this team. But we're gonna move on. So the next overreaction this week is the Seahawks stun the 49ers. And I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to pass it off to my friend here, my co-host, Vincent, who's very ecstatic. The Seahawks beating the Niners after we went to Seattle to watch the first matchup, and they ended up losing. So I know you're ecstatic to be able to see the Seahawks beat the Niners. I'm going to pass it off to you, man.
Oh man, I'm very, very ecstatic about that. They beat us at home. We beat them at home in the shocker. So it's always cool to see that, in my opinion. But we finally broke the curse, unlike the Bears. It's been 3 years, 3 long years since we beat the 49ers. So they had a 6-game winning streak against us. And we finally broke it at their home. So it's a nice moment. But we didn't play our best. The first half, I'll talk a little bit about it. It was 7-6 at halftime. A lot of defense, a lot of bad, offensive scheming in that first half. A lot of great defensive calls, though. Not a lot of penalties, anything like that. Maybe a little bit more for the 49ers. A lot of ball starts, holding calls as they like to run the ball with McCaffrey. But getting into the second half is really where it turned out to be like a great game. Threw a pick for Geno Smith on our first drive out. Wasn't looking too happy about that. 49ers got a field goal and back and forth, basically. And Geno had the ball at the end after we stopped the 49ers from getting any more points to put this game out of reach for us. And it was a great game. I feel like Geno could have played a lot better, but he was very, very accurate. Again, I think he was 25 for 32. I'm going to pull it up right here. Yeah, 25 for 32, 221 yards, 1 interception, and 1 rushing touchdown. So no passing touchdowns for him this game, but it was just a hard game against a hard defense. So the 49ers played well, in my opinion. Nick Bosa going down was probably the nail in the coffin for them. Again, Reed talked about that earlier in this video. Hopefully he's able to play versus the Packers. It looked like it was just like an abdominal issue or maybe like a quad issue for him. He was kind of like reaching down there, but I really wasn't paying attention because I was just trying to focus on the game and not him possibly returning. But yeah, hopefully he's good to go. I'm glad that we got this dub. But yeah, I mean, our defense looks better. A lot of the guys that played today didn't play in the first time when we went to go and watch them in Seattle. So hopefully this defense, the defensive line, and the backfield, and the corners and safeties, even though we have injuries there, we played very well against this team. So very happy about that.
I like it. I was really worried about the Seahawks being blown out of this one, Vincent. I got to be honest. With how y'all have looked the past few weeks, you guys went on that 3-0 streak to win for the first 3 weeks, and we're looking really good, and then have just fallen off since then. So I was really worried that you guys were just going to get blown out of the water. But you guys rallied in this game, just kind of like how the Bears rallied, but the Bears came up short. You guys came up on top. Just barely, but hey, win's a win. Doesn't matter, especially when it's against a divisional rival. So love that you guys were able to split the wins against your matchup this year, and get that rivalry back on track as it should be.
Exactly.
So yeah, but man, I don't know how to feel about either of y'all's teams right now.
It's so inconsistent, man. Like again, the commentators were talking about it. I believe it was Greg Olson saying it majority of the time. Basically, both of these teams get something going, and then something always just happens where, like, for the 49ers, Kittle was out, and then Nick Bosa got hurt during the game. So, like, there's always, like, momentum for both of our teams randomly, but then it just dies out very quickly. So, again, if we both make the playoffs, I don't know if we're going to be a team to
There's
be
no
like,
way.
Yeah, like again,
yes.
if even if one of us just makes it, right? One of us wins the division over the Cardinals somehow, which both of us, I believe, are 1 game behind.
Yes.
But we have the Cardinals next week, so if we win against them, I think we would move up.
You should.
But basically, if either the 49ers or the Seahawks miraculously make the playoffs, I really don't think any of our teams are going to be teams that are going to, make a difference in the NFC playoffs. I don't think we have two strong teams right now. A lot of injuries, a lot of coaching staff problems, in my opinion, for the 49ers. And then for us is O-line. So if one of us makes the playoffs, or if miraculously both of us make the playoffs, I really don't think it's going to be anything game-changing for the playoff futures. So we'll see.
I don't think both will make the playoffs. I think the only way for the Niners and Seahawks to make the playoffs is through winning your division. Yeah. Right now, the wild card spots, in my opinion, are looking pretty locked right now. Things can definitely change. We have a lot of football to play left, but most likely the wild card spots are going to be the Commanders, the Vikings, and the Packers coming out in those three wild card spots. I don't think, unless one of us falters really badly, I don't think you guys are going to be catching up to us, especially with how both of you are currently playing right now. Just my opinion. But hey, Niners can knock us out next week, and then I forget what week we play the Seahawks, and you guys can knock us off as well there. So it's plausible, but I think the only path for the Seahawks or Niners to make the playoffs is winning your division, taking down the Cardinals. I think that's the only way currently. Or at least it's your best bets right now.
Yep.
All right, but let's go on to the AFC. We talked about the NFC a little bit, but let's move on to AFC. Finally, the Chiefs have finally lost. Their luck has run out, as you guys say. I hate, just real quick, I hated watching that game because freaking Romo was glazing Mahomes so hard. He was just like, "Oh, I'm not going to call the game yet as long as Mahomes is still standing." I don't know, Jim. I hated watching that game, but yeah, the Chiefs finally lose 21-30 against Josh Allen. Josh Allen was able to put the nail in the coffin on a fourth down, putting it in his hands. Nobody was open. They covered up everybody. He had to put it in his own hands and ran for, I think it was a 28-yard touchdown to basically ice the game. But after Mahomes had a chance to come back, and I think it was ended in a pick at the end of the game. So finally, the Chiefs' luck, as people say, has run out, and they have finally lost the game. And right now, they're still technically at the top of the AFC, but the Bills have a bye this week. So if the Chiefs lose again, then the Bills will have the tiebreaker, I believe, to be able to be the number one seed in the AFC. So they just need the Chiefs to slip up one more time. Totally plausible. They got the Panthers next, so definitely. I'm ready for the Bryce Young legacy game right here.
Yeah. Dude, if Bryce Young wins next week against the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to compare him to Mahomes.
Legacy game.
Like, this guy's doing it with nobody on the offense. It would be insane. I really don't think it'll happen, but I would love to see it, to be honest.
Hey, the Panthers coming off a bye week to play.
They're ready.
It's the best way to do it,
Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, Bills looked absolutely dominant in this game. They look like a top-tier AFC team where they could actually go the distance and actually make the Super Bowl finally, and not going up to another playoff loss to the Chiefs or somewhere else. I really would love to see the Bills. I very much would love to see a Chiefs three-peat, personally. I think it would be awesome to finally see a team be that dominant. I understand why everybody hates it and doesn't want it. I get it. But I love seeing greatness. But I would love to see Josh Allen make a Super Bowl and see what he's able to do there. The AFC has been so dominated by the Chiefs the past few years. I would love to see another team get in there, because I know Joe Burrow ain't doing it this year. We need someone else to try to topple the Chiefs and get in there and make some noise. All right. But Vincent, what was your thoughts? I know you didn't watch this game as much as the Seahawks game was going on at the same time, but what was your reaction to this game?
So I did get to watch the ending of it. I was keeping tabs on it with Red Zone. I had the Seahawks game on my TV and had Red Zone on my phone. So basically, I was keeping tabs on it here and there. But Josh Allen looks good. I really do like it. Again, I feel like them scrapping their team, basically, going in a new direction with the wide receivers, with the defense as well. It looks good. They're younger now. Josh Allen has like a lot of years under his belt now. I believe he's been in the league like what 6 or 7 years, something like that. Could be a little bit less.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know he's been in there a long time. To be honest, it seems like it's been a little while for us, but I know he's been in the league for quite some time. He's on his second contract for sure. So I really, 7, right? Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, the Bills have a great one, and I feel like if this is the year that it's supposed to happen, it could very well happen. But I'm just so glad because when I first started my power rankings videos, I had the Bills as number 1, and then they had like a tough streak for a while, and I was like, dang, I really sucked on the first week. But the Bills always come back, so they look good in my opinion. They're playing probably their best football right now. Of course, anytime you play the Chiefs, you want to play your best football because if you don't, you're probably not going to win. But the defense played well. The offense played well. I wish there was a little bit more of the running game installed there. But again, game script and how everything happens like that, Josh Allen kind of did the running for them. So I'm excited for playoffs already. And we're not even close yet. We're not close at all.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be so exciting.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with that 100%. But yeah, the Chiefs finally lose. We'll see. Their perfect season is ruined. We'll see how the rest of their season turns out, but they finally lose. There can be more losses on the way. We'll have to see. We'll see if their luck and the cheating refs and etc. Comes back into play. We'll see, But that's all we got for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hit that sub button, as I said at the beginning, to see more NSP content. We're putting out more and more stuff all the time. We're going to be going live tonight for a Monday night reaction of the Texans versus Cowboys, the battle for Texas. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Also, just stay tuned to all NSP stuff. Hit that like button. And if you disagree with anything today, which I'm pretty sure some of you guys did, go to the comment section, all right? Hit up the comment section. Tell us. All right? But, yeah, that's all we got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, keep on grinding.